In this video, I'm going to install 2 rainwater collection barrels. I bought 2 45-gallon barrels from a company called EarthMinded. You can buy directly from their website or also buy from Home Depot, so I'll make sure to put some links down below. The barrels collect the rainwater by hooking up to the downspouts of the house. The barrels I bought came with all the parts necessary to be able to hook it up to the downspouts. However, you can buy parts and barrels separately. The first major step of this project was to clean out the gutters that lead to the downspout I will be hooking up the rain barrels to. Cleaning gutters is relatively easy. However, if you do not like being on a ladder or don't like being on heights, then I recommend you hire a professional to clean the gutters out and to install gutter guards to be able to keep them clear of debris so that the rainwater will flow correctly. With the gutters cleaned out, I was ready to move on to building a raised platform for the rain barrels to sit on. To build my raised platform, I'm going to use 2x6s, 2x4s, and some concrete deck blocks. I cut, sanded, and painted all the wood pieces off camera. To build the frame, I'm going to use 2 2x4s that are 50 inches long, 5 2x4s that are 12 inches long, and 9 2x6s that are 24 inches long. The frame isn't complicated to build. The 5 2x4s that are 12 inches long will connect the 2 that are 50 inches long, with one piece going on each end, one directly in the middle, and the 2 remaining pieces will go 9 inches from each of the ends. Those sections will then drop into the concrete blocks. Now, I don't have to build a platform to make the rain barrels work, so I could just put some paver stones on the ground, set the barrels on that, and call it a day. However, the area of the yard that I want to put the rain barrels in is a few inches lower than the rest of the yard because of how they built the back patio. So if I don't raise it up, I'm not going to get good water flow through the hose to the rest of the yard. The reason for this is that the water in the rain barrels will not come out under pressure like your normal hose would have water coming from your house, because there's no pressure to be generated from the barrel. It's going to come out gravity fed, so I can only water areas that are essentially lower than where the rain barrels are. So by using the platform to raise up the barrels, I'll be able to water more areas of the yard. Whether you're going to put your rain barrel on paver stones or build a raised platform like I'm doing, the ground underneath the barrel needs to be level. This was especially important in my case since I will be installing 2 rain barrels in this location, and so my raised platform is big enough to have both barrels on top of it, which means it was very important for the ground to be very level across that area since it was going to be at least 50 inches long. Unfortunately for me, this area of the yard is very much not level. Its lowest point is right in front of the downspout, and it rises up as you move left of a downspout towards the window. To level the surface, I alternated between pounding the ground flat and removing dirt from areas that were too high and adding it to the areas that were low. Once I got the area fairly level, I then took one of the shipping boxes that the barrels came in, cut it up, and laid it down. This way it would kill and prevent any of the grass and weeds from growing up in that area. I then laid a landscaping rock over the top of that. I didn't have enough landscaping rock on hand to be able to cover as much of the area as I wanted to, so I'll have to go back to the store and buy more to complete that process. I was now ready to put the concrete blocks into place and insert the frame into them. With the frame now in place, I was ready to attach the 2x6s to the top of it. To start with, I started with the middle 2x6 dead center on the frame, and then once that was attached, I started doing each of the pieces after that, putting a 1/16 inch gap in between each 2x6. As I assemble the top of the platform, I want to mention that the water from the rain barrels is not drinkable, so you should not use it to provide water for yourself or any of your pets. It can be used however you want to water your yard or your plants, but do not drink it. I'm now ready to assemble the rain barrels. To start with, I'm going to install the hose spigot and the drain. I suggest using some liquid hand soap to lubricate the rubber gaskets to make them easier to install into the barrel. The drain and hose spigot locations are interchangeable. I will be putting my hose one on the top and the drain on the bottom. Like I mentioned earlier, the water coming out the barrel will be gravity fed, so by putting my hose at the higher location, I'll be able to ensure I have better water flow out the hose line at greater distances from the barrel. Next, I'm going to drill the holes that allow for the water to come from the downspout and into the rain barrel. Each barrel has 2 locations that are already predetermined to allow you to drill these holes. If you were installing only one barrel, you would only have to drill one hole. But since I'm going to be using 2 barrels that are connected to each other, that means that my first barrel, the one closest to the downspout, will get both holes drilled, and the second barrel will only get one hole drilled. I then inserted the rubber seals. These were easier than the other ones, so you may not need liquid hand soap, and now I'm ready to move on to the downspout. To drill the hole that you need in the downspout, you first need to determine its location. This is pretty simple. Put a level that's long enough to be able to sit onto your barrel and transfer the line from the top of the barrel to the downspout. Then measure down 3 inches from that line, find the center part of the downspout, and drill your hole in that location. When I bought the barrels, I didn't realize that the diverters that came with them were for 2 by 3 inch downspouts. All of my downspouts are 3 by 4, so they do sell 3 by 4 inch diverters, but you have to buy them separately. Now, you can use the 2 by 3 inch diverter in the 3 by 4 inch downspout if you do not want to go back and order the correct diverter. However, I would estimate you're probably going to lose about 30% of the water that comes down the downspout. So if you're okay with not collecting all of the water, then feel free to just use the one that comes with the barrel. If you want to collect all the water like I'm doing, then you're going to need to buy that 3 by 4 inch diverter. With the diverter installed into the downspout, I'm ready to connect the flexible hose from the downspout to the rain barrel. You want to make sure this hose is as level as possible between your rain barrel and the downspout. If one side is higher than the other, that's going to cause problems with your rainwater collection because water will take the path of least resistance. Now I just need to use another hose to connect my 2 barrels together. So once the first barrel fills up with rainwater, it will simply overflow into the second barrel. And once both barrels are filled, then the water will flow down through the diverter and out through the downspout like normal. My last step here is to choose how to install my lid. The lid can either be put on like normal and screwed into place to secure it, or it can be flipped upside down and the top can then be used as a planter location. I'm going to go with the planter side. So I'm going to flip it upside down, remove the center plug, install the drain plug they want you to put in if you're going to use it as a planter, and then secure it in place using the screws provided. Alright, that completes the installation of the rain barrels. Now I just need it to rain so I can show it in use.